Chapter 10. Jonah.
Alif Lam Ra, letters of the Arabic language of which God alone knows what they refer to and mean. But the respected scholar Ibn Abbas said it could be a message from God saying, "All you do and say, I have seen." These are the verses of the wise Qur'an. Why are people surprised we have sent a messenger to them? A messenger from their own people, to give warning and good news through God's revelation. It lets the believers know they have firm standing with the Lord, and for the disbelievers who mock Muhammad is a sorcerer, it warns them of the fire in store. God is your Lord who created the heaven and earth in 6 days, but not 6 days as you know them, because the human days are judged in relation to the sun, which did not exist at the earth's creation. Then he established himself on the throne and directed everything, and there is none that can intercede on another's behalf without the Almighty's permission. Such is your Lord, worship him. How can you not take heed? This is a true promise from God. It is to him you will be returning indeed. It is he who created you in the first place, and he who will recreate you again, to reward those who did good deeds as a result of their belief in him. But the evil ones have a burning drink, an agonizing torment because they disbelieved. This will be their reward for all they did, which stemmed from their disbelief. It is God who made the sun radiate light, and God who made the moon a light reflected, so you might know the number of years and have units of time calculated. God did not create this without true purpose. He explains his signs to those with understanding. In the alternating of night and day, there is indeed a sign for those aware of him. Those who do not expect to meet their Lord through the resurrection and trade the hereafter for this life, they shall have the fire for what they choose to do, reveling in distraction, paying no heed to our signs. But those who believe and do good deeds will be guided because of their faith. They will have streams in gardens of bliss, the best of rewards in a blessed place. When they desire anything in paradise, they will simply say, "Glory be to you, O Lord," and what they desire will be brought their way. And when the inhabitants of heaven greet each other, their greeting will be peace, and after they've finished eating and drinking, they'll say, "Praise be to God, Lord of the worlds indeed." If God were to bring people's punishment forward in the same way they wish good to come to them, they would already be judged and punished, but we leave them to wander the earth until return to us again. We allow them to wallow in their excess, and when man is in trouble, to us he cries, whether he is sitting down or standing, or lying on his side. But as soon as we relieve him of that trouble, man acts as if he did not call on us, reverting to disbelief. As they do not supplicate to us when they are in comfort, they only supplicate to us when they are in need. Before you Meccans, we destroyed entire generations who were evil and revelled in idolatry. Their messengers came to them with clear signs from us, but they refused to believe. This is how we repay those who are guilty of sin, and we have made you successors in the land, to see how you will act. Will you revel in sin like those before you did, or be of the righteous and follow our command? When the disbelievers hear the Qur'an's verses, they say, "Bring us a different Qur'an, or change the words in this one." Say, Prophet, "It is not for me to change it as I wish. I only follow what is revealed and fear what would come. On the terrible day, by way of punishment from the Lord, if I disobeyed him, and I would not have recited it, or made it known to you, if God had not so willed. I have lived among you for 40 years, and never said any words like these. Will you not use your reason indeed? I did not do this for my own benefit and ask no reward. I simply pass on the message for you to believe. Who could be more wicked than the one who invents lies about God, or denies revelation sent by him? Such people will never prosper, as they worship alongside God other things. And they say, these things will give us intercession with God, yet they give them no harm or benefit. Tell such disbelievers, do you think you tell God of something he does not know in all that he has created? Glory be to God. He is far above the other things that they associate with him, and no mankind was once a single community bound by a single religion. But they differed and split into different groups, the believers and those who disbelieved. And had God not already set a time for judgment, the judgment would have passed on them already. As some say, why has no miraculous sign been sent to Muhammad from his Lord? Say, Muhammad, God alone has knowledge of the seen and the unseen and allows miracles, so wait for my destruction, and I too will wait for what's in store. No sooner do we let people taste mercy after hardship, against our revelations they'll begin to scheme. Say, Prophet, God is more swift in planning, and the angels record all their plotting. All of it by God is seen. God enables you to travel on land and sea, to sail on ships and rejoice at favourable wind. But if a storm comes by and the waves lash the ship, and from their destruction they fear there is no escaping, only then do they pray to God, and profess sincere devotion to Him, as then they say, Lord, if you save us, we will be of the grateful. But when He saves them once again, they turn away. Back on land, they behave outrageously, and they go against what's right. Mankind, all you do with your evil behaviour works against you. It sets you for hell, where you will incur God's wrath and might. Take the little enjoyment in the present life, and on your return to us we'll show you all you've done, and each soul will stand before God and answer for all they did, and no one in any way will be wronged. The life of this world can be compared to water that we send down from the sky to you, and it is absorbed by plants which humans and animals then consume. And when the earth puts forth its fruit, those who plant seeds think they are in full control, but by night or day we command each thing's fate and reduce to stubble all that they sow. And thus their crops look like they never existed, even though they had flourished the day before. Such is the way we explain our revelation to those who reflect and those who are mindful of what's in store. God invites everyone to the peaceful home, paradise, and God guides to the straight path who He will, and He will give great reward and more on top of that to those who have done well. On the day their faces will not be covered in darkness, and they will not be of those who are ashamed. They are the people of paradise, and there they will remain. As for those who did evil, the reward for each evil deed will be rewarded indeed, and they will be covered in humiliation, such will be the reckoning they'll receive. Their faces will seem like they are covered with the colour of the darkest depth of night. They are the ones who will enter hell for following their own desires and forbidding what is right. On Judgment Day we will gather the disbelievers together and say to those who took partners beside the Lord, Stay still, you and the partner gods you took, who believed my messages should be ignored. Then we will separate them into two groups, and the partner gods will turn and say, It is not us you worshipped. God is witness to this. We had no idea you worshipped us in such a way. Every soul will realize there and then the terrible thing it has done in the life before. Their belief in the invented gods will desert them when they return to the rightful Lord. Prophets say, Who provides for you from the sky, and who controls your hearing and sight? Who is in control of everything, and who brings the dead from the living, and from the dead brings life? The disbelievers are sure to say God. So say, then why do you pay Him no heed? He is God your Lord, the truth, and apart from truth, what is there other than error indeed? How easily you are put off God and turned away from faith, and thus God's statement that some of His creation will not believe in Him has indeed turned out that way. Ask the disbelievers, can your partner gods originate creation and bring it to life again when it is over? How are you so misled? Can your partner gods show the way to truth, turn you from what is false to what is true instead? It is God alone who can guide you to the truth. So is such a guide deemed better to be following, or would you prefer to follow one who cannot find the truth on his own, but needs it to be shown to him? Disbelievers, what is the matter with you? You judge so poorly indeed. Most people base what they do on assumptions, but assumptions are no match to the truth that God has revealed. This Qur'an could not have been devised by any other than the Lord alone. Confirming what came before, it contains no doubt from the Lord of the worlds, the one with all control. Some disbelievers say, Muhammad made this up. Tell them, Then bring a chapter like it if what you say is true, and call on whoever you think will be able to help other than God to come and assist you. But they are simply denying what they do not understand. They deny the messenger and the message with him. Such was the case with the people who came before you. So remind yourself, what was each evildoer's end? Some of the Meccans believe in this Qur'an and some do not. God knows best who causes corruption indeed. And if they pay no attention to you, Prophet, say what you do counts against you, and what I do is counted against me. You are not responsible for my actions, and I am not responsible for what you do. Muhammad, can you make people hear you if they do not use their minds, when they have no desire to understand you? And can you guide people to follow you if they do not see, even though they seem to be paying attention? God does not wrong the disbelievers, they wrong themselves, and on the day they will stand before him full of apprehension. On the day God gathers all people together, the earthly life will seem like a single hour, no more. And people will recognize each other at the moment of resurrection, but not for long after they're restored. As the terrors of the day will make themselves known, and those who denied God will be losers indeed, for they are the ones who did not follow guidance. And Prophet, it is up to us, whether or not we let you see their destruction that will surely come about, or let death come to you first. Either way, God will be the witness and judge of all they've done when returned to us at the rebirth. Indeed, we have sent a messenger to every community who will testify that he gave his people the message, and no one will be wronged. Each person will be judged justly. The disbelievers ask you, when will this promise of judgment come if what you say is true? Say, Muhammad, I cannot control what will benefit or harm me, but each group has an appointed time they are due, and you cannot delay the punishment for even a moment when it does indeed come. And by night or day, what could you do to hasten the punishment of the Almighty One? Will you believe only when it actually happens, and when it comes down it will be said, now you believe as you can see it with your own eyes, when you used to mock what we told you instead? And they'll be told, taste the lasting punishment. Why should we reward you for other than what you have done? And they ask, is the punishment true? Say yes, and you will not be able to escape it when it comes. Every soul that has done evil would ransom the world and all in it to escape their fate. When they see the punishment, they will then repent, but by then it will be too late. Each of them will be judged with justice by the just one, and no one will be wronged. All things in heaven and earth will return to God. To him they all belong. His promise is true, but most do not realize it. He is the giver and taker of life, and all are returned to him. So why do you not take heed before the punishment comes? Turn to God, repentant and believing. Mankind, a teaching has come from your Lord, a cure for the corruption and doubts in your hearts indeed. It is the Qur'an sent by God, to give those who believe guidance and mercy. Prophet, tell them, rejoice that you have God's mercy and his grace, far better than all worldly things. And disbelievers, think of what God has sent to you in terms of provision from him, some of which you have made lawful for yourselves, and some of which you say is unlawful too. Did God command you with such prohibitions, or are these laws simply lies invented by you? Those who fabricate what God has decreed will have terror on Judgment Day. God is bountiful towards mankind, but most do not give him thanks and praise. Prophet, whatever you people do, whatever Qur'an you recite, or whatever matter you are undertaking, we are fully aware of what you do. We are a witness to everything you engage in. Not even a speck of dust escapes the Lord, or anything bigger or smaller that is not recorded indeed. And for those who follow God, they have no fear in the next life, nor will they need to grieve. Those who believe and are mindful of God will have good in this life and in the life to come. There is no changing the words of God. His promise of the garden is true, and that is the supreme triumph. Do not let what the disbelievers say upset you, Prophet. God alone is the all-powerful one. He knows all and sees all, and to him is the return at the final home. Everything in heaven and earth belongs to him, and whatever disbelievers associate with God is not a real partner in any way. They are simply following the lies they were told, following what other disbelievers say. It is God who made the night for you to rest, and the daylight so that you can see. There are truly signs in this for those who hear the Lord, those who do so with sincerity. The disbelievers say, God has children. No, glory be to God. He is the self-sufficient one. Everything in the heavens and earth belongs to him. He is far above having a daughter or son. They have no knowledge with which they say this. How can they speak about God without knowledge? They may enjoy life on earth for a time, but in the next life, their blasphemous words will be acknowledged, resulting in the fire and terrible punishment for all their lies, and only then will they see. They brought this upon themselves by choosing ignorance, and God will judge all people fairly. Prophet, tell the people the story of Noah. He said to his folk, My people, if by my presence and calling to God you are aggrieved, then know that I put my trust in God, and he is enough for me. Decide on what you wish to do, you and your idols. Do not be hesitant with it or keep it in secrecy. Carry out what you intend to do. Do as you wish. Give no respite to me. But if you turn away, I ask no reward of you. My reward is with the Lord alone. I am commanded to be of those devoted to him. I return to him in the final home. But Noah's people rejected him. He and the believers were saved on the ark, and they survived. And as for those who were given warnings but rejected our revelations, we drowned those who denied. After Noah, we sent other messengers to the disbelievers' homes, and we brought them clear signs, but they would not believe in what their forefathers had already rejected at previous times. This is the way we seal the hearts of those who engage in what they were warned not to do. And after we sent Moses to the wicked group of Pharaoh and his people, along with his brother Aaron too, when the truth came from us, the disbelievers simply said, This is obvious sorcery. And Moses said, Is that what you say about the truth? Sorcerers will never have victory. They said, Have you come to turn us from our forefathers' faith, so you can gain power in the land? We will never follow you, and Pharaoh was advised to bring sorcerers by his command. Pharaoh called them from every city, and when they came to compete with Moses on market day, Moses told them, Throw down your sticks and staffs, and after that he did say, All you have brought is tricks and sorcery, and God will show it to be false indeed. God doesn't support the work of those who do evil, those who choose to disbelieve. God will make his word paramount and uphold the truth, even if the evildoers hate it. But few of the people believed what Moses said, because they feared they'd be persecuted. They feared Pharaoh, who was a domineering tyrant, corrupt in the land and prone to excess. And Moses told his people, Have faith in God, be devoted to him, putting your trust in him is best. They said, We have put our trust in God. Do not let the disbelievers prevail over us, Lord, we plead. Save us from those who reject your word. Save us, Lord, through your mercy. We revealed to Moses and his brother, House the people in Egypt. Make those houses to worship in. Keep up the prayers and inform the believers of the good news that you bring. And Moses said, Lord, you have given Pharaoh and his people so much in the world, and he is going astray. Lord, obliterate their wealth and harden their hearts, so they only believe when they see hell's flames. God said, Your prayers are answered. Stay on the right course. Do not follow those who don't know. And we took the children of Israel across the sea, and they were chased aggressively by Pharaoh. But we drowned him and his army as they tried to follow across the sea. And then Pharaoh said, I believe there is no God but the one Moses' people do. I believe in the Almighty. But this testimony was rejected from him. The sentence had already been passed because of his persistent tyranny and corruption. And so the angel Gabriel asked, Is it now you choose to believe, when you'd always rebelled and disbelieved before? Many people fail to follow God's signs, and God will make you a sign to future generations forevermore. We allowed the children of Israel to settle in a good place and provided good sustenance for them, and only after we sent revelation did they begin to differ over what was contained therein. As some felt they should be believers, but others felt it best not to believe, and God will judge between them on Judgment Day over their differences indeed. Prophet, if you are in doubt about what we've revealed, ask those who've been given scripture before you. Do not doubt or deny any of God's signs. God has sent you the truth. If you denied them, you would be of the losers. Such people will never believe. Even if every sign comes to them, they remain defiant until the agonizing torment is seen. Only a single previous town have benefited from belief. Jonah's people benefited from him, and because of their belief we allowed them to enjoy life, and they'll be rewarded when returned to us again. Had God willed, he would have ensured that all the people from each nation would have believed. So, Prophet, will you be able to convince who you wish? No, belief is only possible through God's leave. Prophet, you may be desperate for your uncle to have faith, but that is not up to you. God will bring disgrace on those who do not use their reason and ignore God's news and warnings too. You can say, look at the signs in the heaven and earth, but what use will such signs and warnings be when they are being ignored and mocked by a people who choose not to believe? What will prove it to them other than punishment that came to those who came before you? Tell them, Prophet, sit and wait for my destruction, and I'll wait for God's destruction of you. In the end we shall save our messengers and the believers along with them. We take upon ourselves to save the believers. They will have the best reward when returned to us again. Prophet, say, mankind, even if you are in doubt about my religion, I do not worship those you put as partners to the Lord. I am ordered to be of the believers and worship God, who will cause you to die and then be punished or receive reward. Prophet, be firm in the way of religion, as a man pure of faith. Do not join partners to God. Do not follow the evil one's idolatrous ways. Do not pray to a God who can bring you no harm or benefit, lest you be of the evildoers and receive punishment for it. If God inflicts harm on you, no one can remove it but him, and if he intends to bring you good, no one will be able to divert what you are to be given. He grants bounty to who he wishes. He is the most merciful and forgiving. He is the one true Lord, the knower of all things. He is the ever-living. Muhammad, tell people, mankind, the truth has come to you from your Lord, and whoever follows the right path does so for their own good. They will have the reward that will always last. And whoever strays only harms themselves. It is only they who lose. I am not your guardian or keeper. I simply bring the warning and good news. Prophet, follow what has been revealed to you. Be steadfast until God's judgment comes. He is the best of judges, the witness, the provider. He is the Almighty One.